If you're a streamer on Twitch, Kick, YouTube, or another platform, accepting donations is extremely important for your business plan. Here I went ahead and created a completely custom landing page where you can accept donations and you have full control over what you want to display on this page. Let me go ahead and just look at this and we'll refresh the page. You can see a nice animation here where the page loads in. We have the follower count here that you can update manually along with all of your social media accounts. We have a monthly goal that you can track along with your schedule of when you're live. And down here we have a donation link that will actually connect to Stripe where your fans can come in and leave a donation for you. So in this video, we're teaming up with SeedProd, the ultimate WordPress website page builder, to unlock the full potential of your streaming channel. Let's go ahead and craft a one-of-a-kind donation landing page that will have your community rushing to show their love and support. Let's get started. I have a clean installation of WordPress here. Now, if you're not sure what WordPress is, it's a content management system that you have to install on your own web host. Now, a lot of web hosting companies make this super simple now. If you head over to wpbeginner.com/WordPress-hosting, you can search for that in Google as well. You can find out how to choose the best WordPress hosting in 2023. It's a lot easier than it looks. Once you have your hosting, we're going to go ahead and install SeedProd. Now, this is a WordPress website builder that you can install inside of WordPress, and it allows you to create any type of website or landing page that you want without coding. So you can use a drag and drop editor here to create your page. Let's go ahead and you can click on Get SeedProd now. I'm going to be using the Pro version in this video. So you can go ahead and click on Get SeedProd and use the version that makes the most sense for you. Next, we're going to click on Login here at the top once you have an account. On the left side, let's go ahead and enter your email address and your password and click on Login. Next, let's click on the second tab from the left called Downloads, and let's click on the green button here to download SeedProd Pro. We'll also need the license key here, so you can click the little clipboard here to copy that, and we can go ahead and close this tab. Now that we're back inside of our WordPress admin, on the left-hand side, let's go to Plugins and Add New, and at the top, let's click Upload Plugin. You can click on Choose File to select the zip file that we just downloaded, or you can drag and drop this from the bottom right here if you're using the same or similar browser and click Install Now. Let's go ahead and activate the plugin, and then we're going to paste that license key right here and click Verify Key. I'm going to close this tab at the bottom of my browser. Great, so the next thing we want to do is set up the beginning stages of our new donation page. So on the left-hand side, we can create full websites using our theme builder. But in this video, we just want a single page. So we can click on landing pages. And at the bottom, we have landing pages here. Let's create a new landing page. And now SeedProd will ask you to choose a new page template. So this will give you a head start. In this video, we're actually going to use the blank template and create this from scratch. So let's select this one and we can give it a name. I'm just going to call mine Donate, but you can call yours whatever makes sense. And I'm going to save and start editing the page. So now we can see the SeedProd page builder. We have all of our blocks on the left-hand side, and we can drag these into the right side to build our page visually. There's no coding whatsoever. So let's get started with a simple layout here. I want a small column on the left and a larger one on the right. The first thing that we want to do is come up with some type of color palette. So what colors are we going to be using? What I generally like to do, if there is a main image or an avatar or profile picture, if possible, I like to take the colors from that main picture. So you may already have an existing picture that you can use. In this video, I used a service called Midjourney, which connected to a Discord account, and I can send it commands to create images for me on the fly. So inside Discord, here's an example of the prompt that I can send Midjourney. So right here, /imagine, the prompt, just a simple Twitch streamer profile picture. I didn't put any other commands here, but there's tons of commands that you can use, and you can get very descriptive with this to create images that even look like you, cartoon versions, illustration versions, whatever you want. When I ran this command, it returned 4 different options here, and I went ahead and selected the third option here. You can open this in your browser and then download the high-res version. Great, now that I have an image downloaded, back in SeedProd here, I'm just going to use the image block here and drop it into my page. I'm going to select the block settings. On the left-hand side, I'm going to use my own image. Here we have the upload file section for the media library, and I'm going to select the image that I just downloaded from Midjourney. Great, now I'm going to select this photo, and we can see it inside of the page now. Now, once the image is selected, you can see the options change on the left-hand side here. You can actually link this photo to anywhere you want. So maybe you want to put your Twitch profile, your Kick profile, YouTube page, whatever you want to do. You could put a link right in here. You can also click the settings button here and click on Open in New Window. So this would leave this page open in the background while they visit your stream or any other page. At the top here, you can go through templates if you want to select any of these. These just add simple borders and shadows. Under advanced, I'm going to come under here. And I think with the image border, I want this to be more circular. So I'm going to put a very large number here. Let's do 1,000. And this will create a circle picture for me. And I think that looks pretty good. Now that I have my picture, I want to start working on the actual colors of the page. So I'm going to start from the back with the background. So to edit that, we actually have the page settings here on the bottom left called global settings. Let's go ahead and click on this. And here we can go to the background. For this section, we're going to select the gradient under background style. We have linear here or radial. I'm going to leave it on linear. For the first color, I'm going to select a purple color. So let's go ahead and look for one. And for my second color, something in the orange family. Great, now that you have your two colors, you can go ahead and modify the angle of this, whatever looks great to you. Great, and then you can change the first color location or the second color location. So if you modify this, you can see it gets pushed around here a little bit. I think right there looks fine for me. Now let's minimize the background, and I'm going to come to the global settings still under fonts, and I'm just going to modify my header and my body. For this example, I'm going to be using Nanito, and I'll change this to bold. And for the body, I'll do the same thing. This time I'll leave it to regular. There we go. I think that looks fine. Great. Now that we have our background set, I'm going to add a background to our row here. This is the blue part. So the purple is the section. And then we have the blue, which is the row. And then the orange is the block. So let's go ahead here and we'll select the whole row and the row settings. Then on the left-hand side, let's go ahead and select a color. I'm going to change this to black, which is a little intense. So let's actually take the slider right here to bring the opacity down. And I'll just have it sit right around there, which I think looks good. The other thing I'd like to do is round off the corners. So if we come under advanced, we can do this under border and then border radius. I'm going to go with 15 on each side. And you can see that that gets rounded off. So I want to have a follower counter under here. So we can search the blocks for a counter. And I'll drag this underneath the profile picture. Now this looks good to me. Let's just modify it quickly with the block settings. And I'll change the ending number to whatever my total followers are. Let's go with 26837, just a random number. Down here, if you want to have the comma, you can select 1000 separator. So you can select this and it'll add a comma for you. Next, I'm going to change the titles from title to followers or subscribers if you like. And under advanced, I just want to change the color to white. Perfect. Next, I want to add some social media links under here. Let's go ahead and look for those. Here we have the social profiles. Let's drag these under. And here you can change the size, the look, the feel, and which accounts that you want to show. So by default, we have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And you can modify the details for each one with the link. You can change the order of these. You can delete them. You can duplicate them. And here you can add a new share type. So here you can see the different options here. For this example, I'll just keep the 4 default. For the style, you have default or stacked. The size, you have small, medium, or large. And you can change the alignment if you like. Under templates, you have some quick options here. So here I'll click through, and either you can make them all one color and you can change this and customize this, or you could keep the social media colors. I kind of like that as it does make the page a little bit colorful. And then under advanced, you can change the icon color here if you did want a specific color. So for example, if I want them purple, I can just select that. Great. Now I want to have 2 different sections here. So I'm just going to select this left column, and here under advanced, I'm going to go under the border, and I'm going to add a border to the right side of this. So I'm going to uncheck this so they're not all updated at the same time. I'm going to add a border of, let's say 5, and I'll change the border color to black, and then I'll bring that opacity down. So the same kind of thing, we'll just make it look a little bit darker there. And now we have a border here that comes down and splits off this row into 2 different columns. Great. At the top, I want to have a headline here. Let's go ahead and I'll delete this and go for headline and just drag it into the top of my page. Here, I'm going to change the text to donate and then change it to whatever the streamer name is. Here, I'll just put in a random name. You can change the font size, the level, etc. Under advanced, we have topography, color. For color, I'm actually going to go with maybe an orange color, and then click on topography here to edit the font size, the font family, etc. So right here by default, it's going to be using the global styles that we use for Nanito. Now, if you want to change it for the thickness, we can go back and select Nanito again here manually, and this will give you the options for the heavier weights. So for example, I can select the black 900, and you can see that that got a little bit thicker there. Underneath this, let's add a little bit of text. So I have a text block here. I'll just drag underneath and I'll select this block and update the text. You can place whatever message you like here. I'm also going to change the alignment here to center this and come under advanced color. Let's just change this to white. And I might bring the font size down a little bit. Let's try somewhere around 12. You can see there's some spacing in here that I don't really want. Let's come back under advanced. Let's close this spacing. And we can see that there's some default padding here. If we put 0, you can see that actually gets taken away. We can do the same with the block settings here for the headline. Let's go to the spacing and get rid of all the default padding. And now you have better control over what you want to show here for the spacing. I want to have some type of divider here, so we can go ahead and search for the divider. And I'll just drag this into the page. Let's go ahead and select the block settings here. And I want the width to come down a little bit, maybe around there. I don't want it the full width. We can change the height. Let's go with 5, just to keep that the same as the width of our border here. Great, let's come under color. And we have it changed to black, but let's bring this down. And we'll do the same kind of thing as before. Right around there is fine. And I'm actually going to select this and let's go ahead and duplicate the block. And I'm just going to select this and bring the width down so we have a smaller version of it. Here we can go to advanced spacing and get rid of all that padding as well. So at the top, there was 10. I'm going to leave the 10 at the bottom, and I think that looks fine. We might want a little bit more spacing at the top on the top divider. So for the margin on the top, I'm going to add 10. Perfect. Let's add our monthly goal here. So I'm going to come under the blocks. And if we scroll down to advanced, we can see the progress bar. Let's go ahead and select this, and I'll drop it right underneath our dividers here. And let's go ahead and click on the block settings. I'm going to put monthly goal and then the dollar amount. So here we could say our monthly goal is $1,000 and we're at 800 already. For the percent, we want to change this to 80, as 800 would be 80% of 1,000. And then we can change our color if we like. I might actually leave it on the dark range, so maybe a dark gray, somewhere around there. But let's come under templates and we have some options here. So I want to use the animated one here because I think this looks pretty good. I'm going to come back and change this to a full black, I think. And I think that looks great. Under advanced, for topography, I might go ahead and actually bold the text there a little bit. And I think that looks good. For the border radius, I'm just going to put this up a little bit to around 15. And that'll match the edges on our corners here. The next thing I want to do is show the content schedule here for when this person's going live. So if we scroll down under advanced, we have the business hours block. We can actually drop this in. And let's modify the block settings here. So for each day of the week, you can change the day and the time of when you're streaming. If you have any days off, you could go ahead and do that. You can actually change the style of the days off if you want, so they stand out a little bit more. So let's come down to the date font size. I'm going to increase this a little bit. Somewhere around there, I think is fine. We have the time font. If you want to make that a bit bigger, you could do that. You have the space between the date alignment. I'm just going to leave it by default. I think that looks fine. At the top, we can come under templates and you can see the different templates by clicking on each one. And we have the background one here. I'm going to go with this one and come under advanced just to modify it a little bit. The first thing I want to do is come down under background. Let's go ahead to background color. And I want this to fit the rest of the theme here. So let's go with the black. And then I'll have this just stand out a little bit with the opacity. So not too high. And then we want to change the text color here to white. I think there looks like there's a border there. So let's go ahead and just actually get rid of that. I'll leave the border radius. Let's change that to 15 so it matches everything else. But the border width, I'm going to set to 0 to get rid of that white border. Then at the top, we have the styles. So for the day color, I want to change this to white. For the time color, leave that white as well. You can separate them so that the times are different, but I think I'll just leave everything white there. You know what? Let's actually go with a orange just so it pops off a little bit better. There we go. I think that looks pretty clean. I like that. Great. Now let's go ahead and add our donation button. Under advanced, we actually have payment option here, the payment button. Let's go ahead and drop that right in here. Now by default, this is going to be connecting to Stripe if you want to create your Stripe account and connect with that. If you want to use PayPal, you could also try using the custom HTML block and paste your PayPal button in there if you didn't want to use Stripe. Let's go ahead and use the block settings. And we can update the text here. I'm going to go with donate now. You can add a subtext if you like and the button size. At the bottom, we have icons here. We have before and after. Just so this stands out, I'm going to add a before one. Let's go with maybe a $sign here. And I'm going to add a $sign at the end of it as well. So you can see there's one in front and at the back. For the alignment here, we actually want to select this one at the end and it'll go the full width across your whole page in that column. And I think that looks great. So now we can come under templates. We can check a different option here. So these are just styles. So you can actually modify these completely under the advanced options. So let's come under here. So for the button style here, I actually just want to go to custom and I'll just modify my own. So this gives us the ability to do a normal state and a hover state. So here we have the background image of black, which I like. And then the color, I'm just going to change this to orange. And then in the hover state, I'm going to do the opposite just so it's kind of dramatic when they do a hover. So it's very obvious that this is a place to click. So now you can see when they hover over, you have that nice effect. At the top under topography, you can go ahead and change the font size if you want. Maybe you want it a little bit bigger, a little bit more dramatic. That's up to you. I think it looks good though. Now all of the elements on your page are complete. You could add some things here. For example, under the block settings, advanced. Let's go under a shadow here and add a custom shadow. I'm going to bring the blur all the way down. Here you can control where it shows up. So I'm going to try to get this maybe a little bit bigger with the spread and then try to position it closely underneath my image, just on the side there. Maybe bring it down just a touch. And then I'm going to use the black, but for this, I might actually bring the opacity down again. And you can see it has that nice effect. It kind of matches the timetable here for our schedule. There we go. I think that looks great. If you wanted to get a little bit more fancy with this, you could select, for example, the row settings here. And under advanced, we have the shape divider. And here we could select, for example, pyramids. And we could change the color. Again, you could just do the black and then bring the opacity down here. So it's kind of this faint effect in the background. It gives a little bit of shape that I think it makes it a little bit more interesting. I'm going to go ahead and flip this one. It almost looks like the arrows are pointing down towards the bottom here. You could modify the width, the height of this if you want to make it bigger or shorter. It's up to you. Maybe I'll add a quick shadow to our headline here. I might actually even make this a little bit bigger, just so it stands out a bit. And again, advanced, you can add a text shadow here. I'll do a custom, and we'll do black, 0 blur, and then I can just move it around just a bit, just so it looks like it's popping the text off the page, again, with that black, and bring this down. Lastly, for one more effect, let's go ahead and select the left row here, and go under advanced, and animation effects. Here I'm going to select my effect, and I'm going to have this fade in from the left side. So we can have that when the page loads, it'll show this. And here we can select the right column and do the exact same thing under animation effects. But this time I'm going to have it fade in from the right side. And there you go. Let's go ahead and save our page, and I'm going to go ahead and preview this. Let's go ahead and refresh, and there we go. That looks great. Let's go ahead and save our page, and you can actually now publish this so that it's live. Let's go ahead and see the live page. There we go. That looks great. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment if you enjoyed this, and check out these videos to learn more about SeedProd and how to use it. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.